The OnePlus Ace is the latest device to be released by OnePlus. This mid-tier beast is available to buy right now, and that combination of OnePlus branding, top specs, and a pretty unique design will for sure turn some heads. Pricing starts at around $400 in China for the 8GB of RAM model with 128GB of storage, and going all the way to $530 for the 12GB of RAM and 512GB of storage. But expect the pricing to be higher in other countries. The headline feature, the MediaTek 8100 Max processor, is said to be optimized for high-end performance games and low-light videography. The Ace basically shares its blueprint with the Realme GT Neo 2 from Oppo, and there are a lot of similarities between the two, but also there's one big difference: the design. The Ace looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion, and has got to be one of the best OnePlus designs in years. There are no tapered curved edges, no curved screen. Instead, we are greeted with a completely flat design that gives the phone a feel and look that is modern, cool, and if I'm honest, better than most phones out there at this price point. The OnePlus logo has been moved to the bottom right. We have a new camera cutout design with a large main sensor dominating the top space. The left side of the phone has holographic stripes that shine in the light. There is also a black version available if you have a Darth Vader complex. The Ace is made out of plastic, but it feels decent, not cheap at all, and overall build quality feels solid and good in the hand. Looking at the spec list makes for some interesting reading. Not only do we have that MediaTek 8100 Max that is pretty new to the market, but also 160 watt fast charging, which is ridiculous. I had to try it obviously, and for this to work you need to turn on rapid charging in the battery settings, and then away we go. I had around 4% battery left, and after 5 minutes of charge, the OnePlus Ace with its 4500 mAh battery was up to 45%, which is actually a lot less than OnePlus's claims, but still pretty fast. The camera selection on the Ace consists of 3 sensors: a 50 megapixel main sensor with OIS and autofocus, an 8 megapixel 120 degree ultrawide, and a tragic 2 megapixel macro sensor. The main sensor shooting at a full 50 megapixels gives you a lot of deep detail if you want to crop in, but most people I think will prefer the overall look of the standard 12 megapixel mode. The quality of this main sensor does look fairly decent. It picks up fine detail and the overall image looks sharp and crispy. There is also quite a neutral tone to the colors. No crazy over vibrant processing, although I did turn off the AI mode, which in my full review I will for sure turn on and try out. Now there does seem to be quite a big drop off in quality when it comes to the ultra-wide, which doesn't seem to be the best out there. We lose a ton of detail and images appear very soft and occasionally blurry in some situations. We'll see if there are any updates over the next week. There is also night mode on both sensors, which looks very vibrant, although a little overexposed on the ultra-wide. And finally, the 2 megapixel macro can just go away. There is 4K video recording up to 30 FPS, but with no stabilization unfortunately, so you will have to stand still and keep your hands nice and steady if you want the max resolution. If you do want stabilization, you'll have to drop it down to 1080p that can shoot in 60 FPS. Looking at performance, the OnePlus Ace scored 796,000 when I ran it through Antutu Benchmark, and in my brief time with the phone, it has felt very quick and snappy. Moving around the OS has felt fluid and fast, with apps loading quickly, and in general everything has felt rather smooth, which is cool. There is a gaming mode built into the Ace with your usual array of settings, but it's the chipset that really gives the Ace its power. The max version of the MediaTek 8100 is designed to allow phones to keep a consistent frame rate during gaming sessions, and on my brief time playing Call of Duty Mobile, I was able to game at the highest settings with the phone staying nice and cool, and the speakers were pretty loud too.
Tango down! Grenade! Contact with enemy! Grenade, run! Enemy contact!
The screen on the OnePlus Ace is a 6.7-inch OLED panel with a resolution of 1080p and a high refresh rate that can fluctuate between 60 and 120 Hz. It's not the brightest screen in the world with a max peak brightness of 950 nits, whereas its twin, the Realme GT Neo 2, can hit 1300, but so far I can safely say it has good viewing angles, colors pop and look vibrant, and overall it looks like a nice and decent panel. We do have an optical fingerprint scanner under the display that works well, and there is also 2D face unlock that works plenty fast and has wake to raise. The selfie camera is a 16 megapixel f2.5 sensor and takes okay selfies. The colors are a little weird in my opinion, but for me as someone who never really uses this feature, then whatever. This is what the selfie video looks like on the OnePlus Ace. It looks kind of smooth actually in terms of stabilization. Not too sure about the vibrancy in colors. I think they've been turned up quite a lot. My lips look kind of pink compared to a lot of other phones, but there you go. If we look around the rest of the phone, we have a dual SIM card slot, dual stereo speakers at the top and bottom. There does not appear to be any IP rating on this phone, nor is there a headphone jack, but honestly, I didn't really expect either of these features. Running on the Chinese version of this phone that I have is a OnePlus fan's worst nightmare, Color OS. Now on the international version, I'm guessing they might stick with Oxygen OS, but we'll see. I really like how Color OS runs on Oppo phones. I think it's awesome, but I have had a few problems when running it on previous OnePlus devices. Color OS is actually a really neat operating system that has a nice design language that flows throughout the OS. It has plenty of customization options that Android users will love, as well as a copious amount of neat little tricks and multitasking features, and I'll for sure be checking back in the full review. Overall, I would say the OnePlus Ace has a lot of promise. It's certainly a looker. OnePlus has done a really nice job coming up with a new design aesthetic, and there is plenty of power under the hood. It has a decent main camera sensor as well, a nice screen, and comes with a super powerful fast charger. And I will be doing a full review of this phone very soon, so don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss that, and smash that like button to help me push this video further into the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.